but he don't. Like, how could he know? You know,
Well, because he's a better player than you. That's why he knows.
there was no.
He just taught you something, and instead of paying attention and trying to learn, you just said he's a cheater. This part right here kind of like just crushes any credibility that this dude would have had.
To do this, okay, prepare and kill. Okay, you know the guy. Why he didn't? Okay, why he didn't prepare before crossing the street? If he said there's a fucking guy behind the street.
You want to know why? For those of you that know me, you know that I have been in and around the Escape from Tarkov community for quite some time. I'm not the OSG, I'm not the original gangsters like Clean that have been playing since actual day one, but I've been around since a year before the very first drop stream. I have over 7,000 hours in this game just on one account, and I have a couple of thousand spread between a couple of others, on top of all of the time that I have spent analyzing, reporting news, looking into gameplay stuff, testing, aside from just general interaction with the community. For the last 4+ years, this game and its community have been more or less my professional life, and I'm grateful for all of that. However, every once in a while, there comes a time when someone crops up in the community that seeks to just do harm. I do not genuinely believe that this person is necessarily out to cause Mandini harm, although I'm not necessarily certain that if they are, I guess, convinced that Mandini is a cheater, that they have any realistic idea of what it is that they are looking at. See, I'm someone that has played at the highest level in other games. I was a professional CS 1.6 player, and I was a professional Dota player in my younger years, back before Dota 2 existed, but I digress. Because of my age, I just don't have the ability that I once did. I'm not a 20-something-year-old player capable of having the same reaction times as people that are a lot more talented than I am. People just think faster. That's how the biology works. But that doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm seeing. And when it comes to gameplay, like what Mandini displays in the video that I'm going to show you, understand that the vast majority of the time, this comes down to very good visual acuity, good audible awareness, and just understanding the game better than most people. He has fantastic, superior game sense. And if you are not someone that plays at the highest level, this is not something that you are going to understand. The sad reality of this is, and my final thought here before I get into the analysis, is that the person that authored this video could have taken every single one of these opportunities to use it as a mechanism to learn how to play the game better. Instead, they chose to say that Mandini was a cheater. And that is an unfortunate reality that we sometimes find ourselves living in. As a member of this community, we have to deal with people like this from time to time in Twitch chat or in comments of videos like this one. And while I understand that I am giving credence to the validity or lack thereof of a video like this one, and this person likely made a video like this to garner some attention, and he is getting it from me while I do this, and I fully recognize and see that, at the same time, I hope that this video provides an example to people in the community that crying wolf does not work when you don't understand what you are doing. And this person does not understand what they are doing. The only thing that this does in any situation, especially when you are a content creator, is to alienate yourself from your peers as someone that is no longer desirable to create content with should the opportunity arise. And you also end up painting yourself as someone that is only out to harm others. It damages the community, especially as streamers, into being something more of we versus them, as opposed to us as a community promoting something together. That is a sad, sad thing. I want all of you to know that my purpose in making this is not to try and slag this person. However, I want my video and my analysis of this to stand as an example of the reasons why content like this should not be created by content creators trying their damnedest to make a splash. These are the types of actions that can cause people, players, streamers especially, to not want to bother hitting the button and going live the next day, or the day after that, or the week after that. And while mental fortitude is something that we all need to sit in this kind of a seat, at the same time, we don't need any help trying to deter us from doing so, especially when it is unjustifiable. And trust me, this is unjustifiable. So, backstory, real quick for everybody in chat. This guy made a video that as of right now has 20,000 plus views. Nemonis20 called NA Evasion winner was cheating, question mark, which is about a streamer named Mandini. And according to this guy, Mandini won the Evasion tournament, the most recent one. Won himself a nice cash prize. And this guy says that Mandini is cheating in the Evasion tournament.
Most of them agree that he's cheating, but it's easy to tell.
Wait, say this again?
Most of them agree that but people I discussed, most of them agree that he's cheating, but it's easy to...
So people he discussed this with, most of them say that he's cheating, but he doesn't say who. He just says people.
tell.
And most of them agree. He doesn't even say how many people.
For
Just most people that he's talked to agree that he's cheating, except for the people that didn't, but he doesn't say like how many. So, and let's also discuss like qualification wise, he hasn't tried to at any point speak as to his level of expertise in analyzing any of this. He doesn't talk about how long he's been a member of the Tarkov community. He doesn't talk about how he has any expertise whatsoever in cheat detection. So, I mean, we can see that he follows XQC and Shroud and Summit and Landmark and Amaranth and Pest. So, I mean, like, he knows who Tarkov streamers are.
this is the Lighthouse area next to the market. Market is on the right. There's in the front there's a row camp. He sees the scav. He acts surprised. He might be. And look at what is he doing. Like, why you turned here if you don't know that somebody's there? It's just okay. Let's keep watching it. So if he knows that the guy is somewhere over there, but he don't, like, how could he know?
Okay, so he's saying that Mandini suddenly turned left after shooting that scav, acting as though he knew that somebody was to his left. No, and he's saying that like there's no way that he could know. Like, and he even was like, how would you know?
Unless he had inside info. Let's say somebody wrote it to Discord, or he's using something, you know.
Okay, so then he's saying that there might be somebody cluing him into player positions on Discord, or he has another piece of software. The thing is that, like...
So yeah, he sees the scav, he acts surprised. He might be.
He sees the scav, he acts surprised. I mean, he's staring at the monitor the entire time.
In a single corner, he's just going straight.
He looks left. He checks left, because why wouldn't you?
On the left. I just want to...
He looks up, there's a scav directly in front of him.
No, unless he had inside info, he's using some...
Like, why wouldn't he have just, like, waited for the scav to show up? Like, if he was cheating, wouldn't he just pop the scav, like, super quick instead of acting as...
So, yeah, he sees the scav. He acts surprised. He might be.
He might be.
And look at what is he doing. Like, why you turned here if you don't know that some...
Well, he hasn't looked off monitor. I mean, you guys can't see it right now because my stupid mug is in the way, but, like... He's still looking directly at his monitor. His eyes haven't even shifted. He's looking fucking dead center. He's looking right at the monitor the entire time.
So if he knows that the guy is somewhere over there, but he...
Okay, so one, scavs don't patrol that way.
don't, like, how could he know? You know, there was no shouting. There was no shooting, sorry. So, yeah, he throws a nade.
The scav was activated by a player. Scavs don't go that way. I've run this map over 1,000 times, okay? These scavs don't do that. They just don't. They don't spawn in this exact spot. They'll spawn up in here in the parking lot. They spawn, like, they'll chill in the bushes sometimes. They end up sitting on the corners of the bushes. They'll be over here on the side of the store. Or they spawn and they sit over in, like, the little construction spot, like, around the trucks. They'll kind of, like, walk around in the road. But he is investigating something that he saw or that he heard. They don't just up and, like, walk across the street, like... That's not a behavior that they possess unless they're going after someone.
Like 500 times.
He's hunting.
There was no fight on the left. He couldn't hear it, you know. There's no fight on the left. He couldn't hear it, you know. He couldn't hear it, you know.
So I went ahead and I pulled the VOD. Mandini, and I want to make a couple of points. Mandini plays on a 244 hertz Asus ROG Strix monitor. Republic of Gamers Strix monitor. One of the best 1080p monitors for gaming in existence. It has an absolutely amazing responsive panel with fantastic color depth. But he plays at 1080p and he streams at 720p. I wanted to watch this back because this is actually off of the originating VOD. And instead of having the audio suppressed, I want to see if there's anything else here. There's a step in your left ear, right before the second shot fires. Right there, 1, 2.
And look what is he doing? Like, why you turned here?
Because he didn't go after Mandini. He was already locked in on somebody else.
If you don't know that somebody's there, it's just okay. Let's keep watching it. So if he knows that the guy is somewhere over there, but he don't, like, how could he know? You know?
Well, because he's a better player than you. That's why he knows.
There was no.
He just taught you something, and instead of paying attention and trying to learn, you just said he's a cheater.
There's no shooting. Sorry. So yeah, he throws a nade. Like, it's casual bait, right? You know the guy is somewhere. You throw a nade the other side. He leaves his position to watch where a nade exploded, right? Because maybe somebody's strung to someone. But look how he
Okay.
sees the guy through the fucking keyhole, you know, like, and he says, "Not, it's not happening." Right? Yeah, you know, and he kills it. And watch at this point, he goes straight to loot him, without checking any other bush. You know, he's gonna stop here and gonna watch her all around. But like, are you inspecting like area like this, not going through the fence or something? He's just go straight. Like, I know that nobody's watching. You know, like.
All right, so again, I don't know how many times this guy has run Lighthouse. There's like, depending on where Mandini spawned, he would know how many people there are around him based on his spawn point. And I don't know how far into the raid this is, but I'm assuming that it's pretty close to the start. So if he's spawned, I don't know, somewhere down the road and worked his way up, that means that there's maybe one spawn in front of him where this guy was, and there might be one spawn behind him, which he probably would have already had some interaction with. And that guy that was behind him, if there was a guy behind him, would have tracked up through the villas to try and intercept some of the guys that had spawned up in the mountains. So he rushes this because it's points and because his game sense, he knows how many people roughly would be around him. The nearest next spawn that would be in front of him would have to come down through the village. Nobody ends up spawning like in and around the store. They are private servers.
One video. Let's go to.
So that was it? That's the proof?
So
that was it. That's the whole first clip. That was your definitive proof. He saw pixels move in the distance
to loot him,
and a scav aggroed another player. Move to inspect.
Okay.
I've had scavs on this map engage me at 200 meters with an SKS and shoot me. I've been up on top of the cliffs in the back and had scavs from the villa shoot me from so far away I couldn't hear them yell at me. You would aim right, like where he's standing, you would aim right here. You're watching the road to see if it's going to flush him out because he runs up through the bushes. He's going to try and change position. He's going to move from one bank to the other bank and try and see if he can do a flank move because he got forced out. You're going to end up watching this spot. Like, this is actually the perfect spot to watch for this shit because then, again, where he's located, you could see him coming by right here. If he ends up coming around the fence, you could see his footsteps, his player model, whatever, coming by the on the car, which he would have no vision of Mandini at all based on the angle that Mandini's taken. Like, this is a super fucking smart spot to sit in. This guy is being taught shit, and instead of learning, he's accusing somebody of cheating because they're fucking better than him.
Leaves his position to watch where a nade exploded, right? Because maybe somebody's strung to someone. But look how he sees the guy.
Yeah, look how he sees the guy.
Through the fucking keyhole, you know? Like, and he says, it's
almost like he would have practiced this sight line a few different times and noticed, like, this is a really advantageous place to sit. That's weird.
Happening, right? Yeah, you know? And
he claps the dude. He saw him and he took an opportunistic shot. Throughout the duration of this video, okay, I already have a feeling it's going to be like, how could he have seen that? How could he have known that? How could he have heard that? Okay? It's really, really easy to dismiss an awful lot of that shit. The primary reason why people hear things that other people don't hear is based on what gear the person that's listening to certain things has versus the gear that other people don't. When it comes to making streams and sending streams out over the fucking internet, Twitch takes some of that audible definition away. So if he had been able to hear someone that was further away and the scav ended up aggroing because he saw him fucking running or something, just because he ended up there where the shot went off doesn't mean it took all that long to get there in the first place. But if Mandini heard it and this guy didn't, that's easily explained in the fact that, like, VODs don't always have good audio. That shit happens all the time with VODs that I end up throwing up on the internet. I'll throw up a clip and be like, see, I heard this guy shuffle. I've even gone so far as to turn up Like the moment that I heard somebody step, I've turned it up 40 dB and put it in a recording and had people tell me they couldn't hear it still. And I'm sitting there on my car stereo, my cell phone, like 3 different audio devices or whatever. I'm listening to it everywhere. And I'm like, I hear that just fine. And people are like leaving me comments. I can't hear it. This guy's level 67. This dude? So he's played Tarkov a couple of times, but that don't make him good.
Like, are you inspecting like area like this, not going through the fence or something?
Even if Mandini were playing recklessly in this instance, reckless gameplay doesn't constitute cheating. That's not how it works. You can, like Mandini is a smart player, right? But let's just say it's not him and you see somebody else do this, right? You would be like, well, that's a stupid play. You wouldn't be like, oh, he's clearly sprinting across the map like this, leaving himself open for opportunistic shots because he's hacking. You would just say they're stupid, right? Like literally anyone else. You would just be like, wow, this guy isn't smart. He made a dumb play. It wouldn't be like, oh, he's running this way because he's clearly cheating. Like now from anytime I ever see somebody running out in the open, I'll be like, wow, they're a hacker. And then when I shoot them in the ear, I'll be like, well, guess not. I can't believe that that is the entire clip. Like that's his opener. That's the opening volley. But the real reason behind why he ended up running that way is because he's relatively certain of where people are on the map at that point in time. Because he understands where certain spawns are. He understands where certain spawns are. And he understands the map rotation for most players that spawn in certain locations on the map. He's just smarter. Like, and you have to remember, too, is that he's in a tournament where, like, PMC kills are valued, but dog tags are valued. Yeah, you guys had gamma containers. So, like, I mean, you want points.
Few spawns on the right? So he decides to go on a hill just to be safe, you know?
Okay, so he sat in a corner.
At this point, he sees a guy here, which is kind of crazy, you know? Like, I don't know what his KD is, but look, he's just watching here. He's ADSing. This is normal. And you can see, I think 1 pixel moves here.
Yeah, there's a shadow. 1 pixel. What is this 1 pixel bullshit? You can see a guy walk right here. Like it's an entire player model.
I think 1 pixel moves here. You see the pixel moved here, I think. Yeah.
The A pixel. This is A pixel bullshit. Okay, so he ADSs. And right here on the right, you can see the guy step in and out. And Mandini reacts because he's got good game sense. I mean, he saw movement. I got 40-year-old eyes and I could see him move in my peripheral vision. He's just got good visual acuity. He can see things. And again, he's playing on a high resolution display with high refresh rate and a really, really good panel. Not a 720p stream where things are pixelated, broken up, blurry, and there's a lot of movement on the screen, just for instance. Now you have to remember, the guy that is picking apart these videos, this VOD, the guy that's picking apart this VOD is basing a lot of his arguments on things that he can't see or things that he doesn't hear, etc. This is a perfect example of why using VODs doesn't work well. This is a screen tear right here. This VOD is full of them. The reason why is because the capture card that Mandini is using to be able to stream all of this stuff out to the stream isn't capturing things at the right refresh rate. So it's causing the screen to tear. There's also a lot of visual artifacting that is going on depending on the amount of movement and blur. It's a problem. It's a problem for Twitch. It always has been. He doesn't even maximize the fucking video. If this is the way that he watches Twitch and he's cutting 1/3 of his screen off, no wonder he doesn't see shit. Dude, this pisses me off. I'm sorry, man. Like, normally I'm a lot more level-headed about, like, reviewing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of shit that pisses me off. Because none of this holds water.
You saw the pixel moving.
You have a horribly compressed video feed. You have horribly compressed video at a horrible bit rate. And you are trying to judge what someone's visual acuity is based on a level of resolution that you do not possess on the receiving end. And you're going to say, I don't understand how he saw that, because I can't see it in the VOD, is the dumbest motherfucking argument I think I have heard so far. Yeah, how do you not notice that? How would you not notice that?
You saw the pixel moving. So he's aiming. But I just want to mention that this guy is not something like Shroud or Landmark.
He's not Shroud or Landmark. That was it, huh?
You know, like in all other areas, I haven't seen him fighting in close quarter. He's just like peeking people who's not ready, you know, like who's moving, who's rotating, and yeah, this is crazy. Like you know,
You got to be kidding me.
so yeah, this is the point where the scavs comes and he leaves, and he goes to gas station. Look at this point. Look at this area. He sits here in literally open for like 10 minutes.
The next day.
That was it. Again, that was the whole clip. He sees things that I can't see, and he's not shroud or landmark, and he sat in a corner. That's the whole thing. That's it. That's your reasoning. Every time, chat, from now on, every time that you blindside another gamer, you're a cheater. And it's not even like he was sitting in a weird place. Anyone that's played customs like, I don't know, a dozen times with their friends gets taught about like that little cubby hole corner that like every fucking body sits in. He wasn't in like some weird obscure area. Like he's sitting in a common place that people check. That guy didn't. He was looking to the right and got shot in his left side. After coming in and out of the screen in an open spot where Mandini saw him, like, what do you want? So because your reasoning is he's not shroud or landmark, that's why. So here's 720p and here's 1080p. So when you are watching this on Twitch, when this guy's watching this on Twitch, he's blowing up 720p to whatever screen size he's got, and he's watching 720p pixels, even though Mandini plays at 1080. Which means that, I don't know, 25, 30% of the pixels, whatever the pixel count is, are being removed, and he's condensing that video down and then upscaling it or whatever he's doing, like with quality settings in OBS, and shipping that off to Twitch. So again, he's talking about levels of detail that he doesn't personally possess. And the other issue that he has is that he's also basing his ability to be able to discern people inside of like shadowy areas based on the quality of the monitor that he's using, which also varies very widely from gamer to gamer. We've already seen it a million times, like my $200 Acer monitor versus my $1,000 BenQ Mobius monitor is vastly different in how much visual acuity there is when it comes to color depth, especially when it comes to blacks. Because that's just how monitors are. Like usually the panel that's used in the monitor and how deep the black resolution is the thing that differentiates monitor from monitor. If Mandini has halfway decent monitor and this guy's monitor shit, which again, he never ended up mentioning one way or the other, there's no way to fucking know how true any of that shit is. All of his arguments are like, I can't hear it, I can't see it, how would he know that guy is there? I don't understand.
This hill is literally open, and he haven't cleared anyone else from this hill. He just looked at the body. So there's like 3 spawns over there. And what if
they're nowhere nearby because Mandini shot and killed a dude. Okay, so he skips by so much here. Like there's so much more information that you could learn shit from.
So he moved. He sat here for.
It's a mutant. It's a mutant.
Nobody came. And look what he's doing next. He's watching like other sides.
Yeah, because he could just butt the fucking.
I just mentioned the right side. I just want to mention the right side.
It's going.
You wanted to mention the right side, meaning that people didn't rotate toward him. Therefore, he figured no one had heard the interaction, and he ran up to loot that guy. Probably took a good listen, which you skipped completely fucking by the way. So he didn't listen for that or whatever. And that's his reasoning.
There. And what if somebody moved like here, you know?
What if somebody moved there? Could you imagine if somebody moved to that spot and then saw Mandini and Mandini saw him and they had a firefight?
Look, he's watching for the scav. And what is he doing now?
Scanning, like anyone would.
Look how he sees the other guy.
Dude, they're starting to piss me off. I don't know where they're coming from.
He sees the dead scav and then does assumption that somebody might come from that side.
Of all of the potential clips that could have damned Mandini to being, I guess, relegated as a cheater. And there aren't any, by the way. But of all the ones that could have, this clip that I'm about to show you, or zooming in on this clip that I just did show you, I guess I should say, would be the one that is the most damning. This is the moment when he sees that sniper scav on the tower and he starts breathing. Did you see that, chat? And of course, the guy on the receiving end, the author of this video, ends up saying, no, there's nothing there. Okay, maybe he saw him, whatever. But his tone of voice says that you can't see him, right? Again, this further outlines how bad a truncated, condensed, horrible bitrate 720p stream is. This is supposed to be a set of clean, clear, and crisp lines for a Valde. Anyone that has ever used a Valde knows how tight they are. This, obviously, is not the Valde that we are used to looking through on our screens. 720p resolution. There is actually a spot that if this were viewed in higher resolution, there is a spot right here. Right here is where one of those two scavs that he killed died. This is the sniper scav. That bundle, that literal bundle of pixels is the sniper scav. Remember, he has 30% more resolution than what we have to work with right now. But I want to show you this, and I know that this is zoomed in very, very far, but I want to show you this right here. Because if we advance this, you will see someone stand up. And Mandini doesn't catch it right away, and as he pans away, he then comes and pans back because he realizes that he saw movement. And that is the movement that he saw. Right there. This movement here. That is what he saw. Someone inspecting the scav that he killed. There is review being done as to whether or not Mandini is a cheater using an amount of resolution and a bit rate that Mandini does not share because he has significantly better ability to see what is going on in front of him. Twitch has cut that away from the ability to genuinely discern whether or not someone saw something.
Probably he sees him on like some screen, you know. Look at
Probably sees him on some screen. Nice assumption. Again, Mandini's eyes completely fucking fixed on the main monitor the entire time. He hasn't so much as shifted his eyeballs. Now, in the process of this, he turns around and goes back the other way.
Okay, whatever. Look what he does next. He saw the guy. Okay, let's see. He saw the guy. It's fine, right? He picks this position.
Yes.
And sits here for another like.
Yes. Again, screen tear, 720p resolution.
2 minutes, only aiming at the military checkpoint, right? He hears the scav walking, and look at this. Look at this.
He doesn't give any type of semblance of time. So he walks up.
For like 2 minutes, only aiming at.
He says like 2 minutes. He says he sits here for like 2 minutes. This is 1:56. Okay, this is 3:02:24. And when he said that, he went over here and he started sitting here for a couple of minutes, it was 1:56.
He hears the scav walking, and look at this. Look at this. He
3:02:25.
He decides like, I know that if he goes.
It has been less than 30 seconds.
Why then you wish for like 5 minutes this area, you know?
Okay. So what he's saying is like you're not watching the area well enough. Using the angle that Mandini has, either he's going to see this guy come out in front of the tower, which he won't because the guy in the tower might have seen him, might not, he doesn't know. Or he could end up crossing the road down at the far end, which he wouldn't do, which he would not do unless he was going to route his way through the construction area or through the warehouses. And then in which case he would aggro the scav that Mandini can hear on his right past the wall, or he's going to run the wall and go up here. So if I'm Mandini, I'm going to sit here behind the van. I'm going to I'm going to look at the tower. I'm going to watch the wall because if he's going to move, he's probably going to move along the wall. In the meantime, I'm going to end up listening on my right to see if that scav that's right on the other side of the wall aggroes anybody, because if he crosses the street and he goes through the gap in the wall and I miss him, the aggroed scav will end up telling me where that guy is. So this is actually a perfect spot.
Probably he sees him on.
Again, he's watching to see if he comes out in front or if he goes out back.
Some screen, you know. Look at this.
The most likely scenario in this situation is this guy ends up taking the better path. Because remember, Mandini has a loud mutant and was just shooting a couple of scavs and a PMC up in the corner.
This PMC's got to be going up here.
This PMC's got to be going up here. Not because he's fucking cheating, but because that's the most logical path.
Look at this.
Here he is.
So he watches and he looks, and it has not been 2 minutes. It has been like 38 seconds.
This.
35 seconds, 45 seconds later is when he ends up taking the shot. Or believes that he hears them. It wasn't even a full minute. Not 1 full minute. Okay, and here's when he sees this guy come out.
He's got to be going up here. Yep.
He's looking back and forth. He sees movement.
It's BMC's got to be going up here. Yep, here he is.
And he just saw him. He just saw him. There's a movement right here.
Here he is.
He walked right by the tree. And there's a shadow right here. Even on the VOD, I can see that. And you got to remember, he's working with 30% more pixels. He has more definition and more detail than we do. Again, this is not definitive of cheating. He loses sight of him. So he sits and he waits to see if he's going to end up moving. He's not shooting at him through a bush. He's not trying to pop him through trees. He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. He sees him move left to right. Right there, left to right. And then he comes walking back right to left.
Doesn't see us.
And he stopped moving. Unless everybody on the map is in on it and they're just handing it to him on a silver platter. It seemed like he was awful patient for a cheater. Trying to win $1,500.
This guy literally has X-ray vision, you know? And he kills him and he goes for a loot. Instantly.
Yes.
And after that...
Because he was just interacting with a guy that was running around on that cliffside.
On other maps, when there's a 6 minutes, you literally don't go like crazy. And look what he does. He literally goes fucking crazy. Like without watching any single corner and pushing in a straight, you know?
It's a tournament. It's a tournament. It's a tournament. He's trying to eke out as many points as he can. There's money on the line. You're going to use every minute you have. This guy is a moron. So to recap this, he's saying that he's using a loud weapon. 1, Mandini's using a loud weapon, right? He's got a loud mutant, right? If I'm using a loud weapon and I fire and I drop somebody, and nobody else comes running, that tells me there isn't anybody nearby. If I'm using a suppressed weapon, I would be more careful. I'm giving away less of my position if I have a suppressed weapon. So he's actually countering his own argument in this by saying that Mandini using an unsuppressed weapon is a bad thing, or that he doesn't understand why he's moving so quickly when he's using an unsuppressed weapon. Giving himself away and still not seeing anyone trying to gain position on him because, again, he's sitting in advantageous places, that indicates to him that there isn't anyone around, beside the fact that the timer's getting low, so he's just gonna fucking run it.
After this run, he secured his spot in the final. And I think just go to the final, I guess. Okay.
Thanks for raid, bud.
This is the final day. This is an interchange run.
That again, that was the whole thing. That's the whole clip. All of his reasoning was he saw things that I didn't see. I didn't think he should be able to see things that well. He moved fast. He used a loud gun and he sat in corners. Well, fuck. Chad, did you know that we're like all of us are hacking?
So this is
everyone's a cheater? How dare you have functioning ears and eyes, sir?
He sees nothing there. I think just go to the final, I guess. Okay, so this is a final day. This is an interchange run. Look, it's on the other tab. Look at this. He watched at the left for a second. He does weird thing with his screen. He goes on the other tab. Look at this.
What?
He watched at the left for a second. And he watched again all tab something.
What?
He's doing something. He's doing something. Or Discord, whatever.
So he alt tabs out because he says that he alt tabs out, and that's sus. So there's the alt tab. The Escape from Tarkov game. Mandini's mod viewer for Twitch. The Twitch window for chat. He has Papa Goose. Papa Goose is the battle mod, his battle mod for the tournament, who had just sent him a message asking him something. And he alt-tabbed so that he could read it. It wasn't because he was doing anything sus. And if somebody was feeding him information through Discord, when he went to alt-tab, you would have seen it. Correct? I mean, if he's alt-tabbing to read a DM from Papa Goose, he's going to alt-tab so that he can... You know what I'm saying?
Like, imagine you checking Interchange just by turning your head and not...
Imagine looking at Interchange.
ADSing as...
Imagine looking at Interchange with a 1x.
You know... as how dark it is.
Dude, I haven't heard like
what?
NA gunshots.
He says he haven't heard any gunshots, right? He has no clue that somebody's like coming on him, you know? Like this one was far. He haven't heard anyone literally crabbing on him, you know? He haven't heard anyone. And look what he does. He literally sees nothing, right? He saw nothing. It's fine. It's fine. He saw nothing. Look what he does. He literally goes not in like between the clothes or something. He literally sats and fucking open again. And look at this. Look at this. Oh, what a coincidence. Guy comes around. Like, imagine you checking interchange just
Okay, so here's the point that I wanted to make right here. Okay, hold on.
by turning your head and not ADSing as, you know, as how dark it is.
Imagine making a comment about how dark Interchange is. Imagine making a comment about how dark Interchange is, and then saying this.
Isn't fucking open again. And look at this.
Sits in the fucking open.
He literally goes not in like between the clothes or something. He literally sits in fucking open.
In a shadowy spot of a store where it's really fucking dark in Interchange, which you just said 45 seconds before. He's in the corner of a store behind broken glass. There's half a shelf or some shit right here. He's up against a wall. There's nothing behind him, and it's dark as shit. Why wouldn't you sit there and try and pull angles?
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, what a coincidence.
Show the task manager.
This guy comes
Yeah, what a coincidence. Got a dude on the second floor on a hallway looking for other people to shoot it.
around.
Get shot in the face. This is so weird. A chance interaction where Mandini was the one to capitalize on it because, again, he was sitting in the dark and not making noise.
You know, I heard no gunshots. Maybe the guy grabbed it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you know what? If I don't hear gunshots, I definitely don't look around either. I would never scan corners, look down hallways, check angles, just in case somebody might be sneaking. Dude, this guy must get clapped by every rat that has ever existed in the game of Tarkov. He has to be the most frustrated fucking gamer on earth. Like, every rat in the game must wreck him. He's like dude, he acts like he's a 50 FOV gamer that's only ever gotten blindsided, and he says everybody's cheating. Wait, and again, that was the entire Interchange clip. That was the whole thing. Chance interactions, was able to see better in the dark than I can, checked a better angle than I have. I haven't seen that play before. Again, could have learned something. Oh, there's an angle that I will use in the future. Nope, guys fucking hacking. This is the dumbest fucking argument I think I've ever heard. This is so bad, man. This is so bad.
2-star arms.
How can anyone think that this is cheating? This is the shit that blows my mind.
And this is a customs run from on a final. He sat in a corner. He heard a nade somewhere next to the 2-star dorms, which was far.
Okay, somebody's over there.
And he says somebody's over there next to the bus station.
So I don't know if there's somebody across the street.
He gives no context. Like, okay, if I was going to try and show that, like in this instance, if I was going to try and show that, like, oh, he has walls, you need to make sure that the context of what it is that you're trying to show your audience, like, removes all other doubt. He starts the clip at the moment when Mandini says there's somebody over there. He doesn't have like a 30-second lead up. He doesn't have shit.
Oh, there's a scab over there.
So he says there's somebody next to the bus station or across
over there
the street.
At gas. I mean, at the bus station because there's a nade that went off. So I don't know if there's somebody across the street. Oh, there's a scab.
Oh, so now he just did one of these, like, yeah, I guess so. So you just trying to show a piece of evidence and then just proved your own stupid ass wrong in the midst of making your video.
Okay, so he knows that somebody's across the street. I want to notice this.
He just said why.
If you know that the guy is across the street, right? You're gonna approach it very carefully since he could.
It's a tournament. This isn't a survival game right now. It's a tournament.
Would be in corner bush or something, right? And look how he approaches. He literally just walks slowly. Okay. Walk slowly. Kills one scav. Look, he said somebody's across the road, right? He said somebody's across the road, and look how he's approaching. Look how he's approaching the.
Yeah, because the scav's aggroed on somebody, it's not aggroed on him.
Dorm.
So he just walks out. He's trying to get kills.
He said somebody is in these bushes, and look what he does.
He said that he heard a nade and somebody was over near bus station.
He said somebody's across the road, and look how he's approaching. Look how he's approaching the dorms. He said somebody is in these bushes.
No, he didn't.
And look what he does.
No, he didn't.
He said somebody is behind the street in these bushes.
No, he didn't. No, he did not say that. He said that he heard somebody at bus station, bus garage, across the street. He didn't say that if he heard them in the bushes. There was no mention of bushes at all. He said that he heard somebody across the street.
What the fuck are you doing?
Somebody's camping over there in that area. Yeah.
This guy is taking what Mandini is saying out of context. He doesn't understand what's going on. This is the same. It's funny that he mentions Lighthouse because it's the same thing as what happened on Lighthouse before. In this moment, he kills that scav. He runs out. He figures he knows somebody is over on the right side or somewhere around here. He comes out. He claps the scav. He runs down the embankment. He starts looking around. This scav is running hell-bent forward because it's aggroed on someone.
Across the road.
And it's not Mandini that he's aggroed on.
And look how he's approaching. Look how
he fires and hits the scav in the face. And there's a grenade that lands near him.
he's approaching
Right there. Tink, tink.
the dorms.
Grenade explodes behind him. Mandini goes, I need to move.
He said somebody.
Somebody was across the street, is what he said. With that nade being tossed, having not heard the pin pull, and knowing the direction that it came from, being behind him down the street, that means that there's somebody over in the bus garage-ish that just threw a grenade at him. So he's running away.
Is in these bushes.
Because he's not in an advantageous position, he's trying to save himself.
And look what he does. He's gonna do the same thing as he did in the lighthouse with a nade. Look at this. He said somebody is behind the street in these bushes.
No, he didn't.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, he didn't.
Somebody's like camping over there in that area.
Somebody's camping over there. Behind him. At the bus station.
Like, seriously, dude?
He said that it was a nade that got thrown from the bus station. He said gas and then realized that he said the wrong thing and said bus station. The gunfire came from over toward the bus station.
Okay.
He figured there was somebody over at the bus station.
Hey, you have to have sixth sense, you know, to...
No, it's not sixth sense. It's just good game sense. And actually, this part right here kind of like just crushes any credibility that this dude would have had.
To do this. Okay, prepare and kill. Okay, you know the guy. Why he didn't prepare before crossing the street if he said there's a fucking guy behind the street?
You want to know why? Let's back it up. You want to know why? Right here's the painkiller, right? Look right here. Right here.
To do
you
this,
pop a
okay,
painkiller. Mandini always has his UI up. Right here is the painkiller effect. That's the icon that says you have a painkiller going. He didn't have it. That is true. He pre-pained. But why didn't he have it when he crossed the street? Or before he crossed the street? Why didn't he pre-paint before he crossed the street? Because he already had one running. And you can watch it fall off.
Over there in that area.
There.
Like,
if you can't even pay enough attention to whether or not there is a painkiller effect on a VOD that you are watching back in a recording to determine whether or not somebody may or may not be cheating, especially when you are saying, how did he see that? And you don't even see an icon on the screen showing you at all times whether or not you have a painkiller running. How are you going to make the argument whether or not somebody has better or worse visual acuity than you versus that of cheating? You can't. He's running down on the ground outside, and he's trying to make space so that he can get a better position so that he can make a flanking maneuver of some kind if he has to engage this guy. He's trying to make the engagement more advantageous for him.
if he's running there and now he's going through the window or something. But look at this. Very good acting, you know?
He says this is very good acting. That he ended up coming across this guy in the bushes. Okay, so let's go to the actual VOD. Again, he's being pursued, or he thinks he is, by a guy that just threw a grenade at him, and he's got a guy that might be in pursuit. So he throws a bait grenade. Because he figures that this guy might be running up behind him. Can't hear him. Don't know for sure. Throw a grenade behind you. Have the guy whoa up just for a second. Pump the brakes so that you can get a little bit more space. He checks the stairs to see if somebody's going to come looking. Because, you know, like that, and the louder boom is his grenade. He checks behind him to see again if the guy's coming up behind him. And he starts sprinting down the wall. Now, you're going to hear, if you have good ears, you're going to hear a pair of feet hit the ground. Somebody came out of a window or something, but you will hear a pair of feet hit the ground. Right there. That little that is third party, somebody dropping in from a higher level to a lower one. He hears the little stops, looks around. Hears the running. Footsteps. The guy turns his flashlight on and gives him an easy shot. He stopped so that he would have better visual acuity. Okay, so Mandini is fresh into the raid. He just spawned.
This is the start of the video.
Don't
He
do
just
this, John.
spawned. He came on a hill, and
So he's looking across. This is the hill that before you would go up to Pride Rock. Pride Rock's right up over here. The highway is down here. This road goes up to Red Villa.
he's watching
It's a pretty common spawn.
the area.
There are 2 or 3 spawns to your left. There's spawns across the road.
Yeah. And
Don't
how he's
do
watching it,
what
it's
I'm
very
about to do,
interesting
even
too.
in
How he's watching it is very interesting. In the fact that you know that people spawn in certain places, sure. There's a spawn like right here in front of one of the old scav houses, the sunken crappy ones out on the beach before you get to the Lighthouse Road.
a regular raid.
He's
Don't do
literally
it.
like
Oh,
scrolling, you know.
Yeah, he's looking around for people that spawned. That guy spawns there. That's a common spawn. Spawn there all the time.
He sees the guy. He's not taking the shot.
It's a bad shot.
From video, it's hard to tell what helmet he has, so you can't tell if the guy's the same or not. He's moving from left to right. And look what he does now. He literally sits on open next to the bush, which is like worst thing you can do.
What? Fucking cheater. Every Timmy I have ever shot that has been on a loot run that made the mistake of chilling in the open, every single one of them was a fucking hacker.
Others.
Show me your desktop. All right, I need to see the task manager. He wants a good sight
He's
line,
moving from left
so
to
he
right.
gives himself a good sight
And
line
look what he does now. He literally sits on open.
next to a tree and a bush, because there's the potential that there would be another spawn or 2 to his left, and he's making himself a blind so that if somebody were to come at him from his left, he would be able to hear them before they saw him. You're right, Kings. Mandini probably does kiss girls too.
I think the
It's messed up.
drop
And you kiss girls, Mandini?
already. Like
What a piece
over
of
here.
shit.
So
You call yourself a gamer.
he knows the drop is here. People might be on that hill, might be in any bush. He's just watching with a 1x scope, like
Yes.
to the like
Yup.
Like- wide screen, you know.
Because he has a better monitor. He has literally one of the best monitors for gaming.
You know? Like, yeah, you can see anything,
Don't do this.
everything,
He can see everything.
right?
The stream can't. Look at all the pixelation.
So yeah,
Look at all the blurry shit. The stream can't.
he goes for a drop,
Don't ever do this.
but look at this moment.
Yeah.
He
Look at
goes
it.
into
Right before he did that, he said, "Don't ever do this.
literally
It's a tournament. It's tournament. He's trying to get kills because he needs points. It's tournament."
wide open area. Here,
Oh no. I didn't know it was right there. Oh no.
he acts like he watches the angles.
Oh, we're
Like,
in a
oh
pickle
no,
now.
He didn't know the drop was right
the
there.
angles.
And the reason why he said this is bad is because he's hung out to dry.
As I said like earlier, the guy might be over here. He doesn't. He's just whatever. He's watching the top
Oh,
of
we're
the
in a
hills. You
fucking
know.
pickle now. Wait here, I
Look.
wasn't paying
It's gonna be
attention to that.
soon. Okay, what is this? What is this watch? Where he's watching? He sees like there's no terrain, right? He sees the sky. You know, there's no point watch here.
I mean, what is he doing? He's looking behind him.
Something, but he didn't, because you can hear from his expression that he didn't. Okay, so you hear the nade on the right.
not
You're
care about the
watching
drop.
the drop, and look at this. Look at this. He watched already left. There's no point of turning there. And look at this. And after that, he acts surprised. You know. Look at this. Oh, the guy came, which I saw through the wall earlier. You know.
What?
Kidding me.
Okay, so he loses this guy. What he does again?
Jeez, my friend.
Not stays in a bush. Like it's
GG's.
good cover to stay in that
No
tree, you
way
know,
this
and watch the
happened.
drop.
It's not the same guy, though.
But you know, look at this. He goes back to the same spot.
It's a tournament. He needs kills for points. It's a tournament.
And I want to mark the other pixel. Look at this. He's gonna go 1x and literally freezes. Look at this. Look at this. It's gonna be soon. This one freezes and he sees the
No
guy.
fucking way.
And he knows that there's someone over there. There's a drop in the road. He figures someone's going to try and go get it. Looking around.
Look at
He switches to 1x and he sees him move right here off the side of his scope.
this. It's gonna be soon. This one freezes.
Yeah, he's got good reaction
Look at
time.
this.
There's no way this is happening.
Like
right
he was prepared to see the guy. This is
You were prepared to see the guy with your own eyeballs and everything. I'm so proud of you. Man, woo! Trained your whole life for this moment, Mandini. Your whole life.
hard to tell what helmet he has, so you can't tell if the guy's the same or not. Hard to tell what helmet he has, so you can't tell if the guy's the same or not. Hard to tell what helmet he has, so you can't tell if the guy's the same or not. Okay,
Now,
look what he
chat,
does
don't do what
next.
I'm about to do. It's
Look what he's
fucking
doing
dumb.
next. He haven't watched the right side for like
For one,
10
we're getting
minutes
this, which is
because
just
he was in
not
the
what I wanted
pit
to do.
and he's not checking it. He's just going straight.
It's a tournament. He needs points.
And then he runs straight like next.
Yeah, okay. So he got PMC kills. He got PMC kills, which are worth points. He went to get dog tags. Again, worth points. He was stuffing OFZ shells in his gamma container
Road
because they're worth points.
without, you know, how to say, without inspecting the area. You would go like through the hills, through the left side, like you wouldn't go straight like next to the road, you know? Like he's acting like he's watching, but you see how he's watching the angles? He's just
He skips around so much, man.
turning his head like, come on, dude.
That's what you do when you walk through this area.
Hello?
You look around.
So yeah, he's running. Okay, I can understand why he's running. Maybe because he hears the drop and, you know, there's a gap to run.
Or maybe your criticism of him sitting out in the open and probably not supposed to be doing that. He probably didn't want to sit in the open, figured he needed to move.
Like,
And like quickly, because again, he's out in the open.
but yeah, look how he's watching the angles.
Look how he's, look how he's checking angles, chat.
Dude.
It's almost like he's played a shooting game once before. He might be abusing the YouTube algorithm for cash. Huh. It would be really strange and weird if some other, I don't know, YouTube personality did like a YouTube video about his YouTube video, wouldn't it? That would be weird. Especially if that video happened to be monetized. Also strange.
And yeah, he's going straight. Like, okay, I want to
proceeding
notice this one. He used the painkiller. It's fine. It's fine if you like, you know, if you have tons of them, it's fine, right? But he knows he's gonna run into another guy again.
What? It's the main crossroads of the entire map. He's using walls for those guys that stand in the open, that stands in stark contrast to the background.
I saw the guy, you know.
I saw, yeah, it's called a silhouette, aimed at a backlit target.
Yeah, and now he goes straight for a load, like, without inspecting the area.
It's a tournament.
Dude, this is crazy, actually. And look what he does next. Okay, so he takes everything, and look what he does next.
Look what he
goes
does.
for a
He
drop,
looted.
It's fine. Like,
Watch what he
looks
does
like
next.
Watching area, but why do you watch the left side? If you just ran through it, you knew that nobody's there.
Is this guy trolling? I feel like he's just trolling. He has to be trolling, right? There's no way that this is real. It can't be real.
It's so weird, honestly. And yeah, he goes for another drop on the road. He sees the scav. And he's watching again right side. Dude, you haven't watched it for like 30 minutes there. Like, why watching again now?
This dude in the blue shirt gets clapped by every single rat. Every single one. He has to. He has to be on the receiving end of every single rat. He has to be the easiest loot bag that has ever played Tarkov. Chat, what's the one tried and true rule of Tarkov? Anybody know? Anybody know what the tried and true rule of Tarkov is when it comes to PvP? There is always one more. That's why he's looking around, because there is always one more. Now we know that that's not true. Everyone that looks around in Tarkov, okay, unless you have complete and utter tunnel vision to where it is that you are going for your destination and put the blinders on and completely ignore all peripheral, unless you do that, you are a cheater.
Look, I want to mention these words. I need more points. And he's watching right side now.
I think I need more.
Look at this.
It's a tournament.
I need more. He says, I need more. Look at this.
Because he gets $1,500. Yeah, he needs more. What a dude, what a fucking cheater. How could you? You're greed. Greed is cheating. How dare you be greedy? It's a tournament.
I wouldn't tell how far that scav is shooting, because it's, you know, it's audio. Okay, so he goes inside. He's watching that side, because in that side there's like 4 more PMCs fighting. There was a chief fighting with someone, and yeah. Clearly you're gonna understand what he's saying like after a second. Like, look what he's gonna say. I'm not going to that side for sure, you know, because there's like 3 people fighting there.
Okay, so somebody's path to shoreline right now. What are their
Somebody
extracts
path
do
to
I have?
shoreline. You know how far is path to
Oh, I
shoreline?
could wrap all the way back around. Wait, Southern Road, isn't that where I spawn?
Mr. Nut, thank you for the 3 months of Prime. Loving this breakdown, loving the It's Tournament cam. Maybe this guy's cheating too then. How would he know that there's 4 more PMCs fighting a crossover in the road camp if he's not cheating? How would he know that? Well, that's right, because there's things like audio cues that tell us that there are people fighting at different places in the map, which is exactly what Mandini is using. So if he can tell that there are people fighting across the river, it's not that hard for Mandini to be able to tell as well, right? He throws out all this smug attitude, but again, he just acts like somebody that isn't familiar with the map. Okay, so here's a basic map. Mandini is right here. This is the convenience store where Mandini's located. Right here. He just crossed the road. He ran over here. He ended up going into the convenience store. From the convenience store, we already know that our author or whatever, the guy that made this video is saying that there's like 2, 3, 4 PMCs, whatever, across the way fighting each other. There are 3 potential PMC extracts on this side of the map. 2 of them are covered by rogues. 1 of them costs rubles. So you have the ability to leave through the military base extract if you have the 5,000 rubles, if the car is there. You can leave through the armored train if you wait until the end of the raid, which kind of leaves you as a sitting duck. And you also end up within view of one of these 50 cals, possibly even 2 of them, depending on where you're standing, that will light you up if you're standing in the wrong place. So that makes it dangerous. Also, to be able to get to Northern Checkpoint, you have to cross by both of those same 50 cals and drop them in order to be able to get to Northern Checkpoint without aggro. If you've been inside water treatment, shot a rogue, whatever, because it's most likely that they have because they're trying to get points. Which if you notice, he ends up pulling up the list and nobody took the car out, so maybe it's there, maybe it's not. The only other option and the safest bet is to leave through Path to Shoreline. For the last month, I have farmed rogues on that cliff and turned my ass around if the car wasn't there, and I walked out to Path to Shoreline because that is the most accessible, easiest, and least risky extract out of the entire map. We don't see a car, right? It's not green and it ain't red. Nobody took it out and nobody's activated it. The logical explanation is he said somebody's Path to Shoreline. Whoever won the firefight loots and goes to Path to Shoreline. And he's loaded up with OFZ shells and tons of shit, right? He's got a bunch of dog tags and stuff that he obviously doesn't want to lose, but he's trying to push and see if he can get points. That doesn't mean that he's going to walk into something and be stupid. Now he's looking to see if somebody's going to look up that's going to be in vision of him, that's going to look up and try and see where the plane drops the last drop.
He said he needed more points, and then he said, I'm going out, and then look what he does.
He goes after more points. Let me guess. He goes after more points, which makes him a cheater.
Look, he's gonna do right watch again. There's like 4 more people's there. He's like, nah, I'm not going. Also, he watched at the left screen for a second into the right screen where he's...
So now that he's going to go Path to Shoreline because the PMCs that were fighting could get redirected and they end up going for their own OFZ shells because it's a tournament and they need points as well. So now he goes Path.
What is going on over here? This scav is just shooting.
So
yeah, this scav is just shooting, and look how he approaches the shooting scav, you know? He doesn't know if this is cottages, like hill. Yeah, he knows now that is a cottages, right? Scav might be in cottages, and the player might be also in cottages, or other cottages, or the hill. But look how he approaches the hill, because he knows that there's a guy there. Look at this. This is nasty. Like, you watch the corner and you just go, like he did, you know? Look what he does. Like, why are you doing this slow?
Because the scav wasn't shooting into the house. You would have heard the impact on the wood.
And look, he's scoping again.
You didn't hear any breaking glass. It's not the greenhouse. You didn't hear any metal. You didn't hear any wood impacts.
He's scoping the hill, because behind the hill was Ginger.
Because the most likely place that a scav would have seen somebody where you're not hearing footsteps, you don't hear anybody walking on wood inside of buildings or something, the most likely place that you would see him aiming on somebody is up on the cliff.
Healing.
So you look up.
Dude.
Because Mandini's fucking smart.
Seriously?
And this guy's a fucking moron.
And there's like... Why he's watching into the... Yeah, look at this. Easy kill.
Yep. Dude stood still. Out in the open on top of a cliff after a scav was just done shooting at him.
Also, look how he is.
Wow,
he turned. Like, I want to mention here, at this time, in the end of the raid, there
I don't think people realize like how well the stars have to align in order for a raid like this to happen.
There's like
Mandini played it very, very smart. Okay, he played very smart, but like look at his fucking face. Okay, that is the face of somebody that knows that he just got away with some bullshit. Okay, that is not the face of somebody that expected to win this way. If he's cheating, he don't even know he's cheating.
and other two people on this side, like he literally turned his camera to all the rest of the players, you know.
Dude.
Almost like just in case another player happened to come across over that way because he may or may not also have heard a scab firing into the fucking ether from the village, that he would be prepared for said person to come along. That would be really fucking weird, wouldn't it?
This is like, you know, pretty obvious.
Nah, he's cheating. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah,
No, he's totally cheating.
uh,
And that was it. Again, that's all of the proof. So he goes on to talk about how he has never seen cheating like this before. And the reason why he's never seen cheating like this before is because Mandini isn't cheating. Not definitively. There is nothing in here that says he's a cheater. But aside from just smart gameplay, good game sense, holding good angles, and yeah, he took a whole bunch of risks. He knows that he got away with some BS in a bunch of those plays. You can tell if you watch the VOD back, you can see it on his face. The sad part about this, like I said, is that this dude is making a video about another content creator that he can't prove this. This is not provable. I don't care who you are. I can tell you right now that there are way more sus plays than whatever Mandini did by people that this dude automatically regards as being superior gamers. He named Landmark and Shroud among them. Have you ever seen Shroud do a quick scope? You're not going to call him a cheater after seeing Mandini pulling angles the way that he just did? I don't know if he's got a personal vendetta. He needs to take the video down. There were a couple of moments that he got lucky and was holding good angles, but none of this says that Mandini's cheating. He earned the victory that he got in the Evasion tournament, and I will stand by this decision and my review of this gameplay. I would be very, very surprised if anybody ever came back and said that this dude was hacking. Should that happen? I have no problem apologizing for it, but I don't think that day is going to come. There are strategies that people use that you can learn from, and rather than learning from them, crying cheater is the coward's way out. And you need to apologize to Mandini for trying to slag him. He doesn't deserve this from you. You need to be better. Do better. Be a better person. All right, guys, that's what I got. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.